She went to the bathroom, so I'll give her a minute. Call the meeting back to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I think we have some students here from Augie or Denny Gale's class. So thank you for... Okay. Virtually too. So, well, thank you for either being here virtually or in person. We appreciate it, the Augie journalism class. So thank you very much for being here today. We will move on to approval of the minutes held September 28th, 30th, and October 7th. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Those minutes are approved. We have one person wishing to address the board on a non-agenda topic. It's Lex Caulfield. And when you come up to speak, you have 5 minutes. You're the only speaker today. And if you'd state your name and address, please.
My name is Alexander Caulfield, and my address is 5700 South Grand Prairie Drive.
Thank you.
So, I'm pretty sure you guys have voted on this already, but you're moving honors to Patrick Henry?
Yes, and typically what on public input is you just tell us what your concerns and thoughts are. It's not really a rapport and so forth. After the meeting or through email or phone calls, you can have that dialogue and so forth, but you can just tell us your concerns about the honors moving. That was approved in the boundary process this summer, yes.
Okay. But one of my ideas was that, so next year, I'm a 7th grader. I'll be in 8th grade. So the people that are in 8th grade right now will move on to high school. And same with the 6th graders, they'll be in 7th grade. So if you take the people that are in 5th grade right now and you move them to Patrick Henry or with the 6th grade honors teachers as well, those 6th grade honors teachers can teach the new students at Patrick Henry. So that way new students don't have to move. And my dad showed me a ton of studies that school switching can actually hurt people's grades and make them less likely to graduate, so. And a lot of teachers, including my English teacher from last year, have liked the idea. So just based off what I've heard, I think it's a good idea.
Thank you very much. This is just a great example. You also wrote us a letter as well, correct? Yeah. Thank you very much for your being involved in your input and so forth. And I'll follow up with another email with you too. So thank you for being here and speaking for us. I appreciate it. No other people to address the board. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor of the approval of the agenda signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. The agenda is approved. Now to the good news report.
See if it wants to work for us tonight. Awesome. Well, good evening. Usually I'm in a separate room behind a camera, so it's really fun to be here in person to talk with you guys face to face tonight. So as you know, South Dakota celebrated its 30th Native American Day yesterday, thanks to the forward thinking of former Governor George S. Mickelson, who declared 1990 as the year of reconciliation. And in honor of this holiday, we wanted to provide more information on our Native American population right here in the Sioux Falls School District. So those students who identify themselves as 100% Native American make up approximately 4.5% of the Sioux Falls School District student population. Many more identify themselves as both Native American and another ethnicity. And when those numbers are combined, a recent count by the district's Office of Indian Education totaled 2,150 students served by the Sioux Falls School District ages birth to 21. So in total, about 9% of the Sioux Falls School District students declare some portion of Native American heritage. So in a recent conversation with the folks in the Office of Indian Education, we were actually really surprised to learn of the long list of tribes represented by students in the Sioux Falls School District. And half of those tribes are what you see on your screen right now. Native American students in the district represent 47 different tribes. The highest enrollment of district students in a tribe is 406 in the Rosebud Sioux tribe, 251 in the Oglala Sioux tribe, and 234 students in the Yankton Sioux tribe. So it's easy to assume that students in the Sioux Falls Public Schools are connected to tribes located right here in South Dakota. And this list actually provides a much more complete picture when we realize tribes across the nation are represented in our schools. And these are the second half of those 47s you see now. And that diversity and pride shows up throughout the year. In the Native American newsletter, our Lincoln High School students have worked so hard to research and create in food, clothing, and book drives held by Native American Connection students and in cultural events and activities across the district. And so one last unique story that we'd like to highlight in honor of yesterday's holiday is this one that's coming out of Rosa Parks Elementary School. As you know, Rosa Parks is our global studies school, and this year, thanks to this idea from the Native American Connections junior teacher, the school added all the flags of the reservation that their Native students represent, which totaled 9 South Dakota flags that you see here. And this last slide is actually, this shows where all of the tribes are that our students represent, which is a really cool and unique thing to see. So we highlight these students and we remember the words of Governor Mickelson, who somehow knew exactly what we needed to hear in a very challenging 2020 is, we can't turn back the clock, we can only turn to the future together. What we can do as leaders, both Native American and white, is teach others that we can change attitudes. So a special thank you to Patty Lake Torbert, Charlotte West, and Heather Goodface Ferguson from the district's Office of Education, Indian Education, for inspiring this research and helping us put this data together. Thank you.
Thank you, Carly. For those who are unfamiliar, Carly Youthy is also in our communications department, and thank you for presenting this. It's fun to have you not behind the camera and presenting to us. And it's a neat thing, in the fall of this year, our first school that will be named after a Native American from South Dakota, Ben Rifle, will be opened, a middle school. So another tribute to our Native people of South Dakota. So that's a great thing for our school district.
Thank you. Thank you.
No new conflicts of interest were presented. I'll move on to the approval of the consent agenda, items 11A through D. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. The consent agenda is approved. On to supplemental consent agenda, items 12A, 1 and 2. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries with 2 abstentions from Board Member Ryder and Board Member Mickelson. On to 12B, claims to Avera Health. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries with 1 abstention from Board Member Parker. On to 13A, report of the superintendent.
Yep, our first report tonight is Dr. Knudsen. He's going to give the board an update on the many devices that have been deployed this year. It's good news for moving us along. A lot of it, of course, was also to be prepared in the event that we would need to have an alternative learning model for COVID purposes. So Ryan, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you. Good evening. As Dr. Stavenman mentioned, there's significant changes in our classroom this year as a response to not only the pandemic, but just in the ways that we're teaching in general. And because of the large changes in the classroom technology, I thought it important to bring you an update of where we're at with the deployment of those devices. Each year, the Sioux Falls School District deploys over 7,000 devices to students and staff as a part of our standard product refresh cycle. These devices replace aging technology. This process has remained relatively unchanged from the beginning of the one-to-one initiative. Much of this planning and purchasing is done in late spring through early summer and implemented by a mix of full-time and part-time summer staff. Due to COVID-19 and based on the planning related to our return to learn plan, the district adjusted its approach to the technology in the classroom. This year, the district is deploying an additional 3,575 devices to teachers and students to provide them with the tools needed to succeed under the return to learn plan. The work has been accomplished by 2 full-time ITS staff and supported by our building computer specialists. The addition of the iPads in the kindergarten and first grade, laptops for teachers, and other projects are making positive changes in students' ability to learn from anywhere at any time. Chromebooks are the most widely used technology for our students. Each year we replace Chromebooks at the 2nd, 6th, and 9th grade levels. Subsequently, Chromebooks are slated for surplus for grades 5th, 8th, and 12th. This year's order included 7,100 Chromebooks to replace outgoing supplies. These Chromebooks were requisitioned on May 12, 2020. Delayed shipping worldwide due to COVID-19 caused the district to utilize its outgoing surplus stock to ensure each student had suitable technology. The district is still receiving portions of that May order, with the last shipment not scheduled for arrival until January of next year. Ongoing shipping delays for Chromebooks worldwide have accelerated the district's timeline for next year's order. The district intends to place its 2021-2022 Chromebook orders this fall to guarantee availability for next fall. This year, kindergarten and first grades were the last areas of the one-to-one initiative that weren't yet completed. In previous years, each classroom had about 10 iPads. The sharing of iPads was common, which did not allow the district to provide a device for each student for remote learning. This summer, the district requisitioned Apple iPads on May 22nd and July 20th to complete our K through first grade one-to-one initiative. These iPads were set up and deployed to buildings at the end of August and the middle of September. Additionally, after the successful delivery of iPads and Chromebooks to students, it was clear that flexibility in computing for teachers was a gap that needed to be addressed. The traditional classroom desktop is not a flexible environment conducive to video conferencing, recording lectures, and other activities. To assist the teachers in being successful, the district requisitioned a laptop for each teacher, with the first laptop order being placed July 28th. The district then requisitioned the remaining 1,145 needed to outfit all teachers. Instructional improvements are already being realized at the high schools as lessons are being recorded that can be shared between teachers. Several additional projects are contributing to a more robust implementation of the Return to Learn plan. Each of these successes will continue to be built upon for further broader adoption. The first is audio enhancement and wireless mics. And you see those in the middle picture on the PowerPoint. More than 600 audio enhancement devices are currently in classrooms. These belt pack audio devices connect to a microphone headset and allow the teacher to be heard more clearly when talking through a mask. Reports from teachers have been positive, and we're looking at alternative methods to provide audio enhancement when connected to video conferencing. We're also using the headsets as a part of those belt packs to plug right into the computer to use as conferencing mics as well. As teachers wait for laptops to arrive, several are utilizing desktop webcams to capture audio and video. These inexpensive devices are not mobile, but provide basic ability to capture video and audio of lectures. This pilot includes the purchase of 30 webcams by ITS, with several schools using building funds to purchase additional devices. Our last early implementation project is the hotspots. Connectivity continues to be an issue for students at home. To address this, ITS has purchased 25 Kajit hotspots through a collaboration with Verizon, allowing students to have 3 gigs of internet connectivity per month. Several devices are in use for students that were struggling with connectivity while on quarantine. The hotspots enable students to continue to learn outside of the school day. The district is also participating in the City of Sioux Falls IDEA Task Force, charged with finding long-term solutions to bridging the digital divide. We kicked off that task force at noon today, so we had our first meeting. Additionally, devices are critical to the foundation of online learning. However, software is equally important. Several applications and licensing have been purchased for Google Enterprise for Google Meet recording, Zoom, and Screencastify. These products allow teachers to record and conference with students regardless of location and are the connection between the teacher and those students working at a distance. The cost associated with these items is $4.2 million. The capital outlay budget incurred about $2 million in cost, and our COVID fund incurred about $2.2 million in cost. In summary, the Sioux Falls School District continues to provide additional technology tools to enhance teaching and learning. Remote learning needs due to the COVID-19 pandemic are driving the need for each teacher and student to have access to a device should it become necessary to continue learning from home. The district completed the one-to-one initiative with kindergarten and first grade receiving iPads. Teachers are moving from desktop computers to laptops. Audio enhancements, hotspots, and other technology tools are also supporting the flexible learning environment necessary. The district will continue to monitor needs and make future technology purchases with all learning models, traditional, hybrid, or remote in mind. I would ask that you acknowledge the report of the deployment of devices update, and I'll stand by for any questions.
I just want to commend your team. I mean, you had to basically move. Education is known to be slow to address the technology changes, and you had to do in about 20 years of updating in about a 6-month time frame and compete with all of the other school districts around the country for inventory. So thank you for addressing that and moving us forward and helping our students and staff be able to teach during this period. So we appreciate it.
President, I would just add, this also represents a lot of professional learning that has happened and will continue to happen because our teachers have had a quantum leap in using a lot of the tools. They were beginning those things, and we had, some had been using it quite a bit where it might be very new for every student to have a device. And so there's a lot of learning that goes with that. And couple that with the arrangements that we've needed to do in a lot of our classrooms in the name of COVID and spacing kids apart. They've also been somewhat hampered in how they would normally go about helping kids using those devices, like in small groups and having kids join together or partnering. And so it's been a learning curve. It's been doing it in awkward circumstances sometimes in classrooms with teachers having to already do things differently. And then just getting friendly with new software and all of the pieces that go with that. So hats off to our technology staff and our teachers because it's a really big collaborative effort to get them into the hands of students and used well.
Yeah, and I just thank you too for all the work that you're doing, making sure that we get kids the devices, whether they be hotspots or even working on this task force to help bridge that divide that we know that we have with some of our students. And I would just like to give a shout out to go along with what you were saying, Dr. Sava, about the teachers and the utilization of some of this new programming or software. The conferences, parent-teacher conferences this year, at least for us, went off without a hitch. I really was worried about high school, quite honestly, jumping from Zoom room to Zoom room with all my son's different teachers, but it worked perfectly. So it was, they really seemed to be, familiar and comfortable with that program, and it was great to see. So thank you for that.
I would just add I know one of my daughter's teachers has the headset, and she said it made a huge difference in being able to hear what they were saying through a mask and not feeling like the teacher maybe had to talk louder or yell or whatever. And so I think all of those little things that we don't really think about really do make a big difference from that learning perspective. So the more things like that we can get in our teachers' hands and in the classrooms, I think the better off our students and our teachers will be in doing their hard work. So thank you.
Do you have a motion to acknowledge the deployment of devices update?
Move to acknowledge.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor of acknowledgement signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. The report is acknowledged. On to the school calendar, Jamie.
Good evening. I return back before you today to go through a recommended change from the school calendar. And this school calendar change does come in from the principals of the high schools on a recommended change in their discussion with parents, faculty, and students from each of the high schools, and falls under district priority area number 2 with school climate and culture, and priority area statement number 3. And so I will just go through and give a brief overview of what the request is. The high school principals were working with their staff and students to create a new semester testing schedule for the benefit of the students. It has been discussed the last couple years in the calendar committee as far as a change in that semester testing schedule for the benefit of the students. And really the semester testing change that is being recommended will be to extend that time through the school day to have a normal start time. And so the removal of that 7:30 early start and have an end time that would mirror the typical or traditional end time of the school day. So to remove that 12:30 end time. So it'd no longer be an early start, early dismissal for any of the high schools. It would run the regular schedule. And so that is the recommendation coming forward from the high school principals. The big part of this recommendation truly goes into 3 of the things that they've been working on at the schools. 1, a normal start time, and to be able to maximize that start time for the students, with teenagers not preferring that early start time of 7:30. And so really to make it more conducive to the testing environment for those students. So the normal school start time and the dismissal time, that would also help them to be able to serve lunch during the day and to be able to space those tests out. They'd still have the same number of tests, 3 tests per day over the 2 days, but they'd be spaced out more evenly throughout the day with better increments of time of break in between those tests. So the high school principals met with individuals from their schools and students and staff to come up with a schedule, and they're working on finalizing that because we do also have an impact seen from outside of our school district by those individuals that attend the CTE Academy. So they're just finalizing that schedule, and that schedule will come out very shortly, and we'll notify our families and all the students of that time change. But really it is to be able to serve the lunches, have a normal start and end time, and to be able to space those tests out throughout the school day. So the building principals have made a request to have that alteration and change to the school calendar for the 2021 school year. And then the calendar committee will be able to receive that feedback when we make a determination to see if there needs to be a change for the 22-23 school year forward. And so again, this would be for the 2021 school year, a change, normal start time, normal end time, removal of that early start, early dismissal. And so the recommendation from the administration is to adopt the revisions to the 2021 school calendar as presented.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to adopt the revisions to the 2021 school calendar as presented?
So moved. Second.
I have a motion second. Any discussion? And just for clarification, the middle school and elementary will have no changes to theirs. It's just a high school change.
That is correct. It's a small box on the bottom of the calendar, and that's where the change would be. And the information that we're preparing to send out this week will notify everybody of that change and the time so they can prepare for that. And then the schedule for the tests will come out a little bit later on.
Thank you. Any other questions?
I'm just going to, Carly and I both sit on the calendar committee. I think it certainly made sense, this change. Again, those kids getting up early for a 7:30 test. This just gives them a little bit more sleep, which we know all high schoolers need. So I'm not surprised it was unanimous amongst the group. So I think it's a good change.
Yeah. And I think in addition, having some, take a test and then having some time in between, kind of, put that behind you, review your stuff for the next one and be prepared, and then take that next one is a nice option as well. So yeah, overall, I think it's a positive change for them.
A motion and second. All those in favor of adopting the revisions to the 2020-21 school calendar as presented signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. The adoption is accepted. Thank you very much. Anything else for the good of the board, public? Seeing none, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
I have a motion and second. All those in favor of adjournment signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you.